All right, guys, here's our non-equipment version for the front squats. Now, before we get into this, the front squat, two major things in the front squat that we have to deal with is weight pulling us forward and T-spine strength and mobility. Okay, so that's what we're addressing here today. So we've got our front-loaded alternating reverse lunges. Okay, so pick whatever load you can. We're choosing to Zercher it. You can front rack whatever or whatever creative way you can front load an object. This load is going to pull you forward. The reverse lunge is going to counteract that and work on getting back on that imbalance along the frontal plane. All right, once you've done 12 alternating, you're going to put your object down, and for the rest of the time, in the remaining time, we're going to do these T-spine rotations. Okay, so fingertips are going to be forward, just like we do with a crab, arm up, and then we drive our hips up in a glute bridge. So arm has to go first, and then the hips follow. What we're doing here is we're rotating through the T-spine, racing through the shoulders to get that nice upper back, mid-back kind of stability and that mobility in the T-spine. All right, guys, another day, another triplet. So today, we've got a pretty hip-dominant triplet. The hips, it's a very taxing when we're using the hips. So these movements are going to tax you a lot. All we're trying to do is keep our heart rates just before a threshold. We want to push the pace. We don't want to go slow. We don't want to hold back. We want to go. But just realize if you're ever, try to pay attention to if you're ever breaking through that threshold, because that will cause you to crash eventually, okay? So first movement, pike ups. So arms are fixed in a nice straight position, and we're piking up. Biggest thing about the pike up is that we always get back to that flat, hollow position, and that we're bringing our feet up as high as we can. If we're starting to shortchange this movement, it'll look like this. And we'll get all floppy in the core. Not what we want. We're gonna have the floppy core in the burpee, so we want to stay nice and tight on this. Notice the massive amount of hip flexion on that movement. All right, then we use the hips totally the opposite way on our object kettlebell swing. We're using this big bag, and I'm gonna get those hips going as much as you can, but with an odd object, we're just going Russian styles. We will not go higher than this. Notice how she keeps the back flat. Exact same principles as a kettlebell swing. If we superimpose a kettlebell on this video and took away the bag, I don't know anything about technology, but I hear you can do shit like that these days. And we should not be able to tell whether M was doing kettlebell swings or an odd object swing, all right? So keep that in mind with your body positioning. Burpee over the object, whatever object you use. Em's kind of at a disadvantage here because she's got a big bag on the floor there. So these, just make sure you guys are nice and loose. You're not moving at too hot of a pace, but you're continuously moving on this. You're not stopping, and try to have some fun.